for Fantastic Four, and it's not about his acting.
Always ask, man, why does this keep happening? Why does Pedro Pascal keep getting cast? Why do executives in Hollywood keep casting Pedro Pascal?
I think I speak to the entire Marvel community, and for those in the Marvel community that are too afraid to admit it when I say this, but as soon as we all saw Julia Garner's female Silver Surfer, we all thought the exact same thing.
With Fantastic Four, First Steps pulling in a massive $257 million at the global box office, the buzz is real. That number's straight from the Walt Disney Company and Marvel Studios, and people are already talking. Is this flick going to crush Captain America, Brave New World in total earnings? The race is on, but only time will tell. But let's be real, there's a big issue dragging behind the scenes. And it ain't the movie itself, it's the press tour. And at the center of it all, Pedro Pascal. He's been going off script, diving into politics and saying stuff that's got fans raising their eyebrows. Some of the things he's been putting out there are just flat out awkward. People are calling it cringe central. And honestly, it's throwing a wrench into what should have been smooth promo for the movie. Now let's talk Pascal for a second. Look, he's not without skill. The man's had a couple of solid roles and a few total flops too. It's a mixed bag. But lately, he's been acting way too loud off-screen, and it's rubbing a lot of fans the wrong way. The spotlight's no longer on the movie. It's on his controversial comments. This flick is clearly meant to be a popcorn blockbuster, nothing too deep, just big fun and flashy visuals. But with the drama swirling around its main star, even that might not be enough to keep fans locked in. Look, nobody's calling this movie a masterpiece, because it's not. It's not some groundbreaking cinema. It's just fine, an okay watch at best. But let's be honest, Pedro Pascal as Mr. Fantastic, it just doesn't click. He doesn't carry that Reed Richards vibe. It felt off. The energy, not there. The charm, missing. But forget all that for a second, and because the real spotlight is on Pedro and how he's been acting during this press tour, and wow, it's getting messy. Instead of hyping the movie, he's been diving into politics, again, right in the middle of interviews and promo stops. It's the worst timing, and it's making everything around this film way more chaotic than it needs to be. Now, yeah, Fantastic Four is sitting at $257 million worldwide, which isn't a bad start. But everyone's waiting for those updated numbers on Monday or Tuesday to see if this thing's got legs. Disney is hoping and praying that it keeps rising. They need this to be a hit. But Pedro's stealing the headlines again, and not in a good way. The guy went off during yet another press event, got super emotional, started tearing up, and even cried mid-interview while making yet another political speech. It's like every time they try to push the movie forward, he pulls the focus back to himself. So here's where things really took a wild turn. During a recent press stop, Pedro Pascal got super personal and emotional. Again. And this time, he gave a speech that had the whole room sitting in awkward silence. He started tearing up while saying, "Of course, I have no problem that I am a proud male feminist, an activist," he says, "that believes in my core values, but getting this opportunity to play Mr. Fantastic. Let me just say, I'm tearing up right now, I'm tearing up right now, and I will admit that I find myself crying many times, both out of tears of joy and tears of sadness with my anxiety, because sometimes things can get overwhelming when you are coming from a place of diversity and you are dealing with all the differing views that are going on right now in this country." Then he went even deeper, bringing politics right back into it mid-promo. Under President Trump, if you even want to call him a president, it really makes me sad witnessing what our country is turning into, and I'm choking up right now just thinking about it. Our freedom of speech and expression is dying. If anything, it's dead already. The art of cinema and film is also dying under President Donald Trump. He didn't stop there either. He straight up went after one of the most well-known public broadcasting outlets. Just look at what happened to PBS. This man is a dictator, and he will stop at nothing to get things done his way. And then came the kicker, blaming low turnout for the film on political bias. And I think the only reason why we aren't seeing the exact numbers that we want to see right now with Fantastic Four is that MAGA is not seeing the film at all. Because they have this vendetta against Hollywood, and it's just so juvenile, man. It's so childish, and this is the current state of this country that I find myself crying over all the time. The reaction? A mix of stunned silence and confusion. It's no surprise people are saying this might be hurting the movie way more than helping it. What does MAGA have to do with Fantastic Four? That's the question everyone's asking. And honestly, it's a fair one. Why drag Trump supporters into a Marvel movie press tour? It's not about politics. It's supposed to be about superheroes. But somehow, Pedro Pascal keeps turning every appearance into a personal political moment, and fans are seriously getting fed up with it. And let's be real, Pedro isn't the first to do this. Rachel Zegler pulled something similar with Snow White, and the backlash was brutal. People are tired of actors mixing movie promotion with political messaging. It's turning people off. A lot of folks out there share the same thought, that Pedro comes off as insufferable when he goes off like this. It's not even about disagreement. It's the way he says things. The way he talks down to people and constantly makes everything about his beliefs. It's making audiences uncomfortable. Now here's where it really went left. Pedro kept talking, but this time he took it beyond the world of cinema. What is most important to me right now is getting through these terrible 4 years to reshape our country that is in such a mess right now. And I know many actors that share the same emotions as I do, that it has left us all very sad and emotional. Then came even heavier words. It needs to stop. This agenda under President Trump needs to just go away and vanish into thin air. His act on the border was another atrocity to this country, and the deportations are just embarrassing for many of us. And finally, this bold statement. I can only hope that we can save cinema from dying, but I just don't see that happening anytime soon now that Trump is a king, and everything he wants, he gets. People were stunned. Instead of promoting Fantastic Four, he was dropping political monologues that completely stole the spotlight. And not in a good way. Pedro Pascal didn't stop. He kept the emotions rolling, saying how deeply upsetting things have gotten and how just thinking about the country from 8 months ago brings him to tears. Again, he keeps repeating this idea that cinema is dying. And while there's some truth in that, the full picture is way more complex. Let's clear the air. It's not that filmmaking itself is dying. Far from it. The creative spark is still alive out there. New directors, fresh writers, they've still got a shot. But what is fading? That heavy push of woke messaging and the forced DEI checklist that got crammed into every movie and show. Yeah, that's on its way out. Slow, but steady. Some studios have started backing off from it. They're realizing audiences want story first, not lectures. There are real opportunities opening back up for storytellers who just want to make great films, not push social agendas. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because not everyone's letting go. Disney, still all in. Big time. Bob Iger, Kevin Feige, they've made it clear they're not backing off the DEI train. Just 2 weeks ago, Feige himself said they're doubling down on it. He straight up called it the future of Marvel. And it's not just Marvel, Star Wars too. Over at Lucasfilm, even with all the talk around Kathleen Kennedy possibly stepping down, that direction isn't changing. The message from Disney is loud and clear. DEI is here to stay, at least under their roof. So while some parts of Hollywood are shifting gears, Disney's still holding firm, and that's got fans very split. But here's where things start heating up even more, because fans aren't just sitting back and watching this play out. The online reaction has been explosive. Social media's flooded with people either calling out Pedro Pascal for turning the press tour into a political soapbox or defending him like he's some kind of freedom fighter. There's no middle ground anymore. It's pure chaos. And Marvel, they're stuck in the middle. Some insiders are saying that Disney execs have been scrambling behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to do damage control without throwing Pedro under the bus. They know he's a big name, a recognizable face, but at what cost? The controversy is starting to overshadow the film completely. Some people working close to the project are now saying they wish the studio had gone with someone else for Mr. Fantastic. someone who could just play the role and leave the politics out of it. The mood behind the scenes? Tense. Quiet meetings, sudden cancellations, and a ton of pressure on the rest of the cast to stay silent and not add more fuel to the fire. But Pedro's not backing down. In fact, sources say he's preparing to do more interviews where he plans to speak from the heart, which, let's be honest, usually means more tears, more politics, and more headlines that have nothing to do with the actual movie. Meanwhile, fans who just wanted a fun Marvel film are starting to tune out altogether. They're saying the press tour feels more like a political campaign than a superhero celebration. And that's not what they signed up for. This isn't just about Fantastic Four anymore. This is turning into a full-blown PR storm that Marvel may not be ready to handle. Now here's the kicker. The Fantastic Four movie hasn't even been out that long, but people are already talking more about Pedro Pascal's press tour meltdowns than the film itself. Reviews are getting buried under headlines about his crying, his Trump rants, and his daddy talk. It's like the movie doesn't even exist anymore. The spotlight is completely hijacked. And guess what? Some theaters are already reporting a dip in repeat ticket sales. That early hype? It's fading. Viewers who did show up the first weekend are walking out saying the drama off-screen is louder than what's happening on the big screen. One fan even said it felt like watching the Pedro Pascal show, not Fantastic Four. That's wild. Even industry insiders are starting to speak out, anonymously, of course. One source close to Disney allegedly said, "There's growing regret. The focus should have been on the reboot, not all this extra noise." You can feel the tension building, and it's only a matter of time before someone officially addresses the situation or tries to clean it up quietly. But here's the real twist. Instead of pulling back, Pedro seems to be doubling down. Rumors say he's planning a major interview next week, and it won't be a typical promo. Word is he wants to clear the air, which probably means more emotion, more political talk, and yeah, more crying on camera. Fans are split hard. Some are calling him brave, saying he's using his platform. Others, they're done. They're saying it's self-centered, out of touch, and dragging Marvel into messes it never needed. The whole thing's turning into a disaster for what was supposed to be a major comeback film. And if this keeps up, the controversy might end up being the only legacy this movie leaves behind. Behind the scenes, it's even messier than fans think. Insiders are whispering that Marvel's top brass is starting to feel real heat from higher up at Disney. Executives have reportedly had closed-door meetings about how to contain Pedro Pascal before things spiral any further. One source said, "This wasn't part of the plan. We wanted headlines for the movie, not a meltdown." Even some of Pedro's co-stars are feeling the pressure. A few of them have started ghosting press events. No shows, last-minute cancellations, interviews getting postponed. The vibe? Total damage control. They don't want their names dragged into this chaos, and honestly, who could blame them? They signed up to promote a superhero flick, not get stuck in the middle of a political battlefield. There's even talk that Marvel's PR team is now rewriting press talking points, stripping out anything remotely political and warning the cast to stay on script. But Pedro? He's been going rogue. His speak your truth attitude might sound noble to some, but it's leaving Marvel with a giant mess to clean up, and no easy way out. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, fans uncovered old footage of Pedro making similar political speeches during past press tours. It's not new behavior, but now that he's part of Fantastic Four, it's under a way bigger spotlight. People are replaying those clips and asking, why didn't Marvel see this coming? At this point, it's no longer just a PR problem. It's a branding crisis. This film was supposed to relaunch the Fantastic Four with a bang, but all anyone's talking about is Pedro, his politics, and his tears. The movie's getting completely drowned in the noise, and Marvel knows it. And just like that, they keep flip-flopping. One minute, it's there's no agenda, and the next, Bob Iger's out here doubling down. People see right through it. And trust me, fans aren't buying the act anymore. As for Pedro Pascal, he's still going full throttle with the politics. And yes, he's still pushing that weird daddy talk during Fantastic Four promos. It's left people so confused that some are straight up waiting for the movie to hit Disney Plus instead of dropping money at the theater. Now let's keep it real. This ain't Snow White level bad. It's not a total disaster, but it's far from a Marvel masterpiece either. There are some casting choices that feel off, plot points that fall flat. And Pedro? He just doesn't land as Reed Richards. No shade, he's got acting chops, but this role ain't it. And what's worse, they barely even show off his powers the way fans expect. Like seriously. Where's the stretch? Where's the wow? It feels like the movie was meant to be something bigger, but all this outside drama totally drowned the hype. And now it's stuck in limbo. Not a total flop, but not the comeback Marvel needed either. Anyway, I want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think about Pedro's role, the press tour mess, and if you're even planning to watch Fantastic Four at all. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who loves celeb drama as much as you do. It really helps the channel grow. Make sure you stick around and click on the next video showing up on your screen. We've got even more wild celebrity drama coming up next. And trust me, you don't want to miss it. See you in the next one.